Hi everybody, my name is Jim with Full Moon Adventure Club, and today we are going to be going over how to install a 529T window module to your alarm system so that whenever you push the lock on your alarm, all of your windows go up and close for you, which I think is a really cool feature. It's one that I really wanted to get done, and when I tried to get an estimate for having it installed, it was really expensive, guys, like around $600 or something like that. So I decided I'd just try and tackle it myself, and through a lot of online research that from a lot of different spotty sources that really didn't give me all I needed to know in one place, I thought I'd throw this video together for you guys on how to install it to make it do that. Now, this is going to be a 4-part video because there's a lot of information to cover. However, I am going to try and get you to where you need to be to do the install after the first video. So I'm going to try and get you everything you need to know. After this first part of the video, you'll understand how it works and what you need to do to install it. And then if you want to follow on with me for the other 3 videos to see how I ran the wiring, how I did the installs, and all the wiring configurations for the other doors, that's completely up to you. But at least this one will get you most of the way where you want to go. So, first of all, we need to know a little bit about these 529T modules. They're designed basically to do windows, and you can do one of two ways with them. This one module will handle one window going up and down, so you could use the auxiliary button on your remote to make all your windows go down as well, but you'd need 4 of these modules with a 4-door car because each one's going to go to each door and roll the window up or down. Or you can use this for 2 windows and just have them go up. So 2 windows that'll go up, or you can have 1 window that goes up and down. I decided I didn't want 4 of these modules in there, and I really don't care about rolling down my windows. I just wanted them all to roll up so that if I forget or we pull in and I take my keys out, all the windows are down, I can walk away and boom, they all roll up. It looks really cool, and I really like that feature. So that's what we're going to be doing, and so I only need 2 of these modules. The way I'm going to wire this in is this module right here is going to operate the driver's side front and rear door, and module number 2 is going to operate the passenger front and rear door. Okay, so it comes with the module, it comes with an instruction booklet, and it also comes with this wire harness right here that plugs right into the module kit. And there are some different things you can do with these modules, but what we're going to be using it for today is not going to require all of these wires, but I am going to kind of go over briefly what these do so you understand that, and I will go ahead and scan and put a photo up so you can kind of check that out. But basically, the blue wire on here is going to be for the motor side 1 of your door, for window 1. And that goes to the wire that goes to your motor. So you cut a wire in half, and the side that goes towards the motor, that's going to be your blue wire, and the other half that goes towards your switch is going to be a brown wire. Okay? And then you have your orange wire that's going to connect to the orange wire on your remote, your alarm system. Now, almost every alarm is going to be pretty much the same in the aspect that they all have that orange wire. And that's going to be your resting ground or your ground fault or whatever you want to call it. But that orange wire coming out is going to be what we're going to connect all of our orange wires to from both modules, because this one has 2. It has an orange wire for the front and an orange wire for the second door. And so these are both going to connect to the orange wire that come out of our pre-existing alarm that I had installed at Best Buy before we started all this. So that's going to be the hookup for door number 1, is going to be the orange into the orange of the alarm, and then the blue to the motor side, and the brown to the switch side of the door. And that's pretty much all there is to it for the first one, and then the second one's going to be your second orange wire. And then let's see, the colors for that are going to be green for the motor side and white for the switch side on your rear door. Now, aside from that, you also have a red and a black wire, and those need to go to a chassis negative, so a negative in your car, and the red's going to go to a constant 12-volt power source in your car. Okay? And you can get those pretty much anywhere you want. You're going to look under your fuse panel, and you can either wire into something that has constant 12-volt power and then find a negative and tie both of those in. I decided just to use the negative and the positive wires that are feeding the alarm system because they already had them run and they were sitting right there. So that's pretty simple, and I don't think I really touch on that too much in the video because it's pretty self-explanatory. Find yourself a positive, find yourself a negative, and connect that to the module. So with that being said, we're pretty much going to jump right out there, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. And by the end of the video, we're going to do a test, and hopefully you'll understand how the wiring is all set up And if you want to go to other videos from there, we'll go through how I ran the wiring and all the color codes for the rest of the doors. We're going to be doing this install on a 2002 Jeep Grand Cherokee. And so for those of you that have that out there, this is really going to help you out because I do include the color codes for the doors because they are all different. And I will put that in the link in the description below if that saves you any time to know which wire rolls up the window on each one of the doors because they're all a different color. And I will put that in the link down in the description below. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it and let's show you how this is done. Okay, so first we're going to remove this Phillips head screw that's located in the little door handle there. And then the second Phillips head screw is going to be located right behind the little pull-out mechanism there, the handle. And that's another Phillips screw. These are all pretty much the exact same screw on this Jeep Grand Cherokee, but just make sure you keep track of everything so we can put it together later. The third one, there's a little plastic cap that can be pried off with a flat-headed screwdriver, and then we're going to pull out that third Phillips screw. Now it's pretty much just a matter of prying the door panel off. I'm going to be using a plastic little pry bar there so we don't scratch the paint, but you can get just a flat-headed screwdriver in there with a rag or something to protect the paint, and you're just going to gently pry those off little plastic clips, and you're going to slide it down until you hit the clip and then pop that out. You may need to pick up some extra clips because they do tend to break. And then just work yourself around the door there and it's going to come right off for you. You might have to lift up a little bit to get it out of the window crease. Then there are two metal rods for the lock and handle, and you're going to slide the plastic yellow clip off and then pull the rod up and you'll be free, and all you have left is the wires. Now this is the power mirror wiring right here. There's a little clip on the bottom. You're going to squeeze that and just jiggle it out. Like so. And we have the window module for all the switches. And again, there's a plastic clip in the back. You're going to squeeze that or pry it out and then just jiggle that loose. Now we're going to take apart the dash here now that we have the door panel completely off. This is another Phillips head screw right here. Now usually there's two other bolts, I believe, that are on the left and right side underneath that panel, but somebody already took them off on my Jeep, so that's going to save us a little bit of time. Before we're able to completely take that off, there's two more screws that are located underneath that little vanity plate above the steering wheel. And it really just pops right out with a plastic pry bar or a screwdriver. Mine's pretty loose already, so it just pops right up with two clips, and you can move that over to the side, and that exposes the two screws that you're going to need to remove on either side there. So you can adjust your steering wheel, maybe move it down so you have better access. Maybe you can get a screwdriver or your drill in there, and then we can go ahead and take those two screws off. I'm going to take off the left one first, and the right one. And now that those are removed, that panel should just kind of pull off. It might have a clip on the right side there, but it should just pop out, and we can put that to the side for later. That's where those two little screws go, is on the bottom there where my finger is right there, and they just weren't installed for whatever reason. So make sure you look out for those as well. They're probably on yours. I'm going to go ahead and set that to the side. Okay, so now it's kind of exposed the alarm, which I had installed at Best Buy. And he just kind of wire tied that up and put a little sticky pad to attach that up there. So we're going to start kind of removing all of that. It wasn't the best install really, but it's fine. We're going to work around it. So now what we're going to need to do is locate the orange wire that's coming out of our alarm module. And that's going to be what all four of our orange wires from both modules are going to attach to. And so after a bit of poking around and looking here, I located a little series of wires that was kind of covered up with electrical tape. So pulled those off, and that's going to expose the all-important orange wire coming from our alarm system right there. So now we're going to remove some of our kick plates and vanity panels and trim and stuff so we can run our wires properly. And this is going to be a Phillips or I think it's actually a hex head screw, a weird plastic screw in the back right there, and that's going to pop off and come out. I believe it's a hex head screw. So now that is off, you're now going to have to remove the trim piece right here. And this just pries up. You can pull it with a little bit of force or use a screwdriver, and it's just going to pull right out of the clips there and come completely off. And we can set that to the side. Now you have 3 screws located down here holding that kick plate trim in. So we're going to go ahead and remove the first one of those. And again, all the Phillips head screws in a Jeep Grand Cherokee are pretty much the same, so you don't necessarily have to keep them separate, but if you're doing this on a different car, you may want to put these in cups or plastic bags that are marked with a magic marker or something like that so you can keep track of where everything goes. So after we pull out the 3rd screw here, we're going to be able to wiggle this out, and there goes our kick plate, and we'll toss this over to the side there. There we go. Okay. Now we can kind of see what's going on in there, and I'm going to go ahead and pull back some of the protective tape that they had on there, and we're going to be looking at our wiring here. It took me a little bit of trial and error because it was kind of hard to find online, but I finally figured out that it's the light blue wire on the left side there. I think it's second to the left, and it's just a light blue wire. And that's going to be the one that we're going to connect to. We're going to cut it in half and connect our blue wire to the motor side and the brown wire to the switch side. Now what we're going to do here is I'm basically going to run a test for you guys so that you understand the principles involved. I'm not going to run all my wiring and all that stuff until the other videos that are going to come after this one. But now I'm just cutting the blue wire in half. It's light blue. Cut that guy right in half. And the only reason I'm stripping it right now is so we can do this quick test. I will be using blue connectors to, kind of have a little more professional feel to it and have it a little more permanent. But for now, I'm just stripping these so I can show you guys how this works. So there's the light blue wire cut in half. And we're going to hook up power to the red on our module, constant 12 volt current on the module, and a constant negative on the module. And then we're going to hook up the orange wire from the module to the orange wire that I pointed out earlier coming out of the alarm system. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's just a whole lot of wiring and labor involved. But this will get you the basic principle involved so you understand how this module works. Now, after kind of confirming on the instructions here, we see that blue goes to our motor side. And all that means is the blue wire where we cut it, the one that's going towards the door and the motor, is going to be our motor side. So we're going to take the blue wire coming out of our module, and we're going to strip that guy as well. And then we're going to get our brown wire, which goes to the switch side of our door panel. We're going to strip that as well. Okay, so that's connected. Now we just need to make sure that we do have power and ground as well here. I'm going to throw a little bit of electrical tape on these just because I will be putting the door panel holding it in place because it has to be connected to your switch module in order for this to work. So I don't want anything grounding out on us and blowing fuses. So just a real quick and dirty job of putting some electrical tape on here to protect for the test. And later I will be putting on some clips and making sure all this is done a little more professionally. But for now, this is going to let us know everything we need to know about whether or not this is working correctly. Okay, so there's a lead that I have going to our negative, so that's a negative ground, and there's my positive that's hooked up to a 12 volt constant current. And I'm just using the positive and negative that went to the alarm that he installed at Best Buy because it's already run there and it was real easy to get to. So I'm going to be using those. And after one more quick check on the instruction manual here, just to make sure that I have everything wired correctly, what I'm going to do is make sure this guy's all plugged in and correct. And now we have to hook up our orange wire. So there are two orange wires on the module. We're going to be using the one that does not have a black stripe. This one is just solid orange, and it goes to the first setup or first window. So I'm going to strip that out, and we're going to connect that right here to our orange coming out of the alarm. like so. And we'll just kind of twist those together real fast. There we go. And just for fun, we'll put a little bit of electrical tape on there just to make sure that everything is nice and protected while we do the test. Okay, so we're pretty much all wired up here. Everything's ready to go. We have a negative hooked up. We have a 12 volt current right there I'm connecting. So now the module has constant 12 volt power. And all of our wires are connected. So we have a pretty good grasp of how that's supposed to be wired up. And now we're going to see how that works. In order to do that, we do have to reconnect our switches from the door. So I'm just going to pick that up and hold it in place while I plug it in, and then we will give this baby a trial run. So that clicks right into place, and I'm just going to hold the entire door up while we do this. Now that that's plugged in, if I can get it here, there we go. I think we're making progress. Okay. All right, now that that's hooked up, I'm going to take my keys here. We're going to go ahead and start the engine so I can roll the window down, or at least turn on the accessory. And we're going to roll the window all the way down. Yeah, close enough. All right, there we go. And now we will pull our keys out and act like we're about to lock the Jeep and we're walking away from it. We're going to hit the lock button like so. And there we go. Our window's rolling up just like that. And it should stop when it gets to the top. And it does have a circuitry to where it notices that the window's up, and we are good to go. Okay, so that pretty much shows you how to get the door off on a Jeep and how to access all the wiring. And then the test that we did just to make sure that it works should give you a pretty decent understanding of how you're going to be wiring in all of these doors. It should give you a grasp on the concept. And I'm hoping that that at least will be enough to set you on your own course so you can do your own install. If you do have a Jeep Grand Cherokee and you'd like to follow along with the rest of my install, I do have some other tips and tricks in there, and I do show you some other things that I did to wire this whole system up, and we will show the reveal with the entire system working in part 4. So if you want to do that, I will put a link right after I'm done talking here that'll send you right over to video number 2. If you like this video at all, if it helped, please like, share, subscribe. That's really, really going to help, because I'm just starting this channel up and it's going to help us keep these videos coming to you. So please do that for us. And as always, thanks so much for watching. My name's Jim with Full Moon Adventure Club. And until next time, happy camping.